Imagine your life as a small boat drifting on a wide, restless river without a rudder and without direction. That is what life becomes when self-confidence is missing. No matter how intelligent or capable a person is, if fear and hesitation guide their choices, they never reach their true potential. Many people live quietly in the background, afraid to speak, afraid to fail, afraid to be noticed. If this feeling sounds familiar, then this story may change how you see yourself. In a crowded city lived a man named Kareem, who earned his living by selling salt. With his modest income, he supported his wife and 2 sons. His younger son, Samir, was cheerful and bold, easily talking to anyone. His elder son, Ayan, was the opposite. He was extremely shy, often lowering his eyes and struggling to form words. People mistook his silence for foolishness and often deceived him. Still, Ayan never complained. Kareem, however, grew increasingly frustrated with his elder son. He believed harsh words would make him stronger, so he scolded him daily. Each insult slowly shattered the boy's fragile confidence. As Ayan grew older, his fear followed him into school. During exams, his mind froze and his hands trembled, even when he knew the answers. His results suffered, and his father's disappointment deepened. When Ayan reached adulthood, Kareem ordered him to work in the family shop. Terrified of failing again, Ayan obeyed, but his nervousness made him clumsy. He struggled to speak with customers, mixed up orders, and made small mistakes. Every error fueled his father's anger, and every angry word pushed Ayan further into silence, planting the dangerous belief that he was truly worthless. One afternoon, while Kareem was away purchasing supplies, several sharp-looking men entered the shop. They spoke confidently and smiled politely. "Your father sent us," one of them said smoothly, "to collect all the salt sacks for delivery to the city." Ayan felt uncertainty rise in his chest. Something seemed wrong, but fear sealed his lips. He hesitated to question them, worried he would sound foolish. Before he could gather courage, the men loaded every sack onto their cart and disappeared. That evening, Kareem returned to find the shop empty. His face turned red with rage. He shouted cruel words, calling Ayan useless and accusing him of destroying everything. Overwhelmed by anger, Kareem ordered him to leave and never return. Ayan's heart shattered. The weight of his father's fury, the judgment of neighbors, and his own deep shame crushed him completely. That night, he wandered to the riverbank. The sound of rushing water echoed his thoughts. Shame tightened around his chest, making it hard to breathe. "There is no reason to live," he whispered. "I fail at everything." As he stepped closer to the edge, a firm hand suddenly grabbed his arm. An elderly man pulled him back. Furious and broken, Ayan cried, "Why did you stop me? My life has no value." The old man spoke softly, telling him that life is precious and that failure is not the end. Ayan replied bitterly that he was weak, uneducated, unwanted even by his own father. The old man's eyes filled with seriousness. "Come with me," he said, turning away without waiting. Confused and hopeless, Ayan followed him through narrow streets until they reached a simple house, unaware that this meeting would redefine his future. Inside the humble home, the old man introduced himself as Rahim and offered Ayan water. He listened patiently, then spoke with calm authority. "I can help you," Rahim said, "but only if you follow my instructions for 3 days. Complete 3 tasks and your life will change." With nothing left to lose, Ayan agreed. On the first day, Rahim instructed him to speak with 10 strangers and ask them about their lives.
Fear tightened Ayan's chest, but he forced himself forward. Some ignored him, some walked away, yet he persisted. By sunset, he had spoken to 10 people and even shared smiles with a few. For the first time, he felt a small spark of pride. On the second day, Rahim gave another task. Teach 10 children why water is important. Ayan panicked. He believed he knew too little. Rahim smiled gently and told him to share whatever knowledge he had. Trembling, Ayan stood before the children holding a glass of water. He explained its benefits in simple words. His voice shook at first, but as the children listened, his fear weakened. He had done something he thought impossible. On the third day, Rahim gave the final challenge. Return to your father and apologize. Ayan resisted, terrified of rejection. Rahim insisted that courage was the final lesson. Gathering every bit of strength, Ayan returned home. He bowed before his father, apologized sincerely, and promised to improve. Karim noticed something different in his son's eyes. For the first time, he saw determination instead of fear and agreed to give him another chance. After completing the tasks, Ayan returned to Rahim and asked for the secret to success. The old man smiled warmly. "You already know it," he said. "Your true enemy was never shyness, it was fear. People treat you according to how you present yourself. When you believe in your worth, others will too." Ayan felt tears fall as understanding filled his heart. He realized confidence is not something we are born with, but something we build through action. He thanked Rahim and returned home with renewed strength. Slowly, Ayan changed. He spoke clearly, asked questions without fear, and learned from his mistakes. Customers began to trust him. His father's anger softened into pride. Years passed, and Ayan transformed into a successful and respected businessman. People admired not just his intelligence, but his calm confidence. He often remembered the riverbank and how close he came to giving up. This story reminds us that confidence grows when we face our fears step by step. Fear keeps us trapped, but courage unlocks our potential. Even the quietest person carries hidden strength. When we step outside our comfort zone, we discover who we really are. The world does not define us. We define ourselves by how we show up. Believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Take small, brave steps forward. You may stumble, but each step builds strength. Like Ayan, you may think you are weak, but once you face fear, your life can change forever. If this story touched you, remember its lesson. Confidence is a muscle. Use it daily. Stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward toward the life you deserve.